I'm riding my motorcycle off-road in this deep sand. I swear I could wiggle and get almost knee-deep in this sand. It's not like any sand I've ever seen before. It's not like beach sand. My motorcycle is clawing through it. I was in Death Valley today. I think there might not have been another soul around for 80 miles. You are so alone out here. And everything's like a little bit scary. Like if anything goes wrong, I do have a satellite thing. I guess I could call for a helicopter, but you feel pretty alone. It is.
You don't want to call for a helicopter.
No, of course not.
I'd just die, honestly. American prices.
It is the fiscally responsible choice.
Oh, I don't want to burden my family with this.
Take a guess, Flush.
That's what they do in Canada now. You see, you see that Paralympian who like sent something out and was like, I need some assistance to get up my
pain
stairs and pain meds. And the Canadian healthcare system was like, how about this? How about you kill yourself? And pay for
the
it.
letter said something,
and the lady's like, they offered me fucking assisted suicide for like for a scare thing and pain pills.
Yeah,
fuck. That doesn't. There's no one that checks that before it goes out.
No, Canada's fucked. Canada's fucked. Like I bet Canada looks down their nose at. Oh yeah, Canada looks down their nose at us. Like turn it around, Canada. You are looking shitty up there between that guy like taking all your guns away, and he's like, at first he's like, I'm gonna take your assault weapons away, and then and your pistols, and now he's like, I'm gonna need those hunting rifles, you bitches. Like he's just getting everything.
Like everything off them.
And then I keep looking up.
Bears?
You look up the statistics on the assisted suicide, the fucking euthanasia rates that you guys have going on. You guys are turning into you're not there yet, but you're turning into a socialist scum hole of the North. I can't wait to watch your fake little society degrade and fall into nothing. You're gonna be like a RoboCop movie soon. The Eskimos are gonna come down south and take over. All right, they're taking.
I thought you'd be more pro the Canadians than this, right? Like
if someone was to die,
look, you know I hate the savages of North America in this continent, Woody. But there's nothing I hate more than a Frenchman. Okay, this is enemy of my enemy type shit. Okay, if we get rid of those,
I would posit that the Americans, you guys have enough freedom that they're going for assisted suicide in a different way. They're just like, they'll sort themselves out. We don't even need to help. Yeah. We just let them do whatever the fuck they want. They'll just die.
Feed them.
That's
poison.
What our firearms are for.
Yeah, you guys are right. You guys have got the assisted suicide. It's just the red version of it.
I saw a graph the other day of Europe. And it was a graph of Europe, and it was how many guns per person they have. Pathetic. Pathetic. It's barely half a gun per person in most of those countries. That's where you top out at.
Have you seen the UK like posters? Because like you can't even have like utilitarian knives in the areas. Like all those knives, Woody, that you carry around. Oi, bruv, you're right in the clink. Like they're gonna throw you right in the fuck.
You got a license for that knife?
People can't have a Leatherman. You can't have You just go through lives with your fingers and fingernails opening.
We're not allowed to talk about
a tape.
Yeah, no, you can't have it.
You can't have a Leatherman.
They have signs in the UK, and like it'll show like a machete, and then like literally Swiss Army 1.5-inch blade for like opening boxes, and it's like they're both equally illegal. And now we're not even in the UK anymore. But that's
they've had so many stabbings from certain groups. I would imagine that they really had to crack down. The Irish, they really had to crack down. Y'all thought I was going to go to
like what groups?
It's the fucking Irish. It really is. They're the fucking stabbers. You know, they're all about it.
Scottish.
But they only do stabbings because they don't have guns.
All the fucking northern. Now the Irish people bomb people. Scottish people
wait, who's a shillelagh? Is that's Irish, right?
Yeah,
a shillelagh, those hammers, those like clubs. You know what those are?
What a shillelagh is?
Yeah, a shillelagh is a club that like they would use to punish people for not drinking enough.
Hey,
yeah.
I don't know what.
I know you're pregnant. Have another one.
Noon on a Monday. Sober are we?
Look at your wife. Not a black eye on her face.
Tradition when he beat up that old man at the bar.
Regardless, your choice, but those brain cells are dying.
They come by, they notice that your wife doesn't have any bruises. Yeah, something looks amiss.
Why aren't your kids crying?
I raised my hand and your wife didn't flinch.
9 children in your mid-30s. What are you, celibate? Like,
what an awful group of people.
Didn't you find out you were Irish?
Oh yeah. Like mostly English, honestly, like the fancy kind. But
They were
Fancy kind. What's the fancy kind of English?
Just from the fancier part of England. But I found that when you brag about your genetic report, it never goes well. I've never been either. No, it seems like a wet, murky place with awful food.
There's so many Australians, like, I don't know what it is, but young Australians just like get up and go, I'm going to go and work in England for like a year on a work visa or something like that.
Yeah, I'll do it.
In my brain, I'm just sitting there thinking, at what point are you sitting on the beach, like having a beer in the sun, checking out the hot women here, and then like you just click in your brain and go, I want to go and live in a shoebox and just be fucking depressed all the time.
They
like,
want it for the resume. It's so great for the like they come back and they're like, oh, so you went to school in Europe?
No, but they don't. But they don't go to school. They just go there and work in like a fucking restaurant for like fuck all. It's like it's so dumb.
The ones I know, they
manager at the restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah, the ones I know, they went to like Europe to either travel or to like get a fancier education that would look good.
Yeah,
back
but that's
home.
like, so they go like go to Cambridge and then they'll just go party in Ibiza for like 3 years or whatever. But it's like it's not.
I don't think my boy's that rich. I don't think my boy's rich like that. But like, I think it's pretty cheap to travel through Europe with the train systems and everything, because they talk about like hitting half a dozen countries and like these aren't wealthy men. You know?
Yeah,
like,
I think if you do it semi-homeless, like Vagrant style, it's pretty cheap. You can stay in hostels.
You can buy like
take
your
trains.
own.
I think you'd even take a step. I wouldn't do that. There's
like
hostel
a pass
thing,
you can
I'd rather
buy,
camp.
and you can just travel wherever you want, like on the train system for like a certain amount of year. So it's all trains. Like you can get across to like the UK and go to France.
Can you camp in Europe though? I'm thinking you go from city to city. It's populated. Like I don't know that you can just pop a squat and throw up a tent.
Doubt it.
Probably have some places.
Heaps of homeless people do it in LA. Like,
it'd also be easy to like hop around to all of Europe because it'd be like coming to America and being like, we're gonna hit West Virginia, we're gonna hit Virginia, we're gonna hit Maryland, we're gonna hit Delaware, we're gonna hit North Carolina, and then we've seen America. Like that's like you just
except it's like way smaller. You're like, yeah, let's go to Belgium tomorrow, and they're in fucking Spain, and then they just drive there.
The language situation is so weird. I know it's all historic.
Everyone just speaks English.
Yeah, but like the idea that like Spain, right next to fucking France, like historically they just like same family of languages, but just totally different languages. And then Italian right there too, totally different. Like the U.S. is just such a different scale that we think of.
Well, it's even more.
It's like all the way north. They're not like all the way to the tippity top of Canada to the bottom tip of Texas. Pretty much English.
Well,
that's only because it has like. Since the 1800s of history, though.
Oh, I know, but I'm saying like that's our perspective. Like it's that old saying of like 100 years is a long time for an American, 100 miles is a long distance for a European. Like just I'm
just thinking of guys of like in the UK in particular, how like it seems like you can be on this street and have a huge rivalry with the completely different class of people who are a street down the road. Those are North Welsh. Billions. Those dirty scoundrels don't even wash their arses. Or whatever.
You're from East Nottinghamshire. Like I'm from Southeast Nottinghamshire.
It's time to stab each other over football.
like you're gonna get glassed in the face. Like Americans don't even know what that means to get glassed in the face. And the stabbings over there are. I remember
Is that when they hit you with the bottle or cut?
That's when they take the whole. That's when they both. The answer is yes. They smash like a mug.
I've seen that happen to someone in like a nightclub. That was like a common thing in Australia when I was younger, as people just like smashing pint glasses on people's faces.
I thought you were talking about a half moon because that's what we sell in Canada. You guys know half moons?
No, I haven't heard of that.
You could fucking.
That's when those girls wear those pants where they like.
Okay, this is a half moon in Canada. You see this item? You see this item? Yeah, only look at half of it, and now take the chocolate off of it.
Oh, that's your fucking healthcare system at work.
Yeah,
that's what y'all pay for in exchange. Y'all get half the cookie and they take the chocolate.
No, but actually, it looks
oh my god, 48
1,000 times better than that.
I'm
what?
so glad
Fuck you. No, we spent the first 20 minutes of the show trying to figure out what gay is. Canadian moon pies are gay.
Yeah, I mean,
you haven't pulled it up yet. You have to see it.
You told us what it was.
No, I got it. No.
Yeah, it's ours, but worse.
I could tell that those don't have the like this. The half moon's a Twinkie. It's a flattened Twinkie.
Yeah.
Taylor, do you know what a Canadian moon pie is?
No.
It's when you come in a guy's ass.
Gotcha. Now you're gay. Yeah. Everyone, leave in the comments that Harley is gay. Harley's gay. Everyone's joking about it. Everyone knows he's gay. He's the gayest man in Canada.
Finster, get out
Very
of my
few people are that
dreams!
well known. He's the tallest Jew and the gayest Canadian.
No, the banana moon pie.
No, that's
wait.
that's
I pulled
gross.
up a Walmart link. Pull it up.
Let me finish now. Look, that banana moon pie, one of my favorite childhood treats. Okay, love those fucking things. I will say this: it's like a Popeye's biscuit. This thing, that inside cookie, if they call it that, it is not a cookie.
It's all but
it
powder.
is a substance. That the cookie, if you will, of this is a substance that you have never put in your mouth before. Okay, it's crumbly and yet spongy. It's tough and yet it sort of melts in your mouth like cream or nougat or something like that. It's bizarre. They are not good. I do not recommend them.
I haven't had one since I was young.
Don't have a moon pie. I don't know anything about
all these things. By the way, all of these, like these types of things, like snowballs and ho-hos.
Yeah.
All of those treats are a billion times better in Canada. I'm not trying to defend my country's honor, like when you guys are making fun of being like, no, wait, the snacks are good. No, but I promise you guys, I don't eat Swiss rolls in the USA or snowballs or anything that like Hostess makes or whatever in the USA. They're so drastically different in Canada. It's crazy. And I think our half moons exist because what you're right, you might be right, like per individually wrapped food, like the calorie or sugar might be so high that we can only do the half.
Let me
moons.
ask you this: do y'all do the Reese's with 4 cups in the fucking slider?
We did get that. The it's like it has a 4th cup, right? With
what do you mean you did get that? You make it sound like 3. It's the iPhone 14. Like, yeah,
it is. No, we got that. We got that like last year. The 4th cup came in last year.
Dude, Reese's is the most, like, no one is innovating in get fat food like Reese's is. They have come out with fucking, like, I don't know, big fat ones, quad ones. You need giant ones,
it's a
tall
problem.
ones, pretzel ones, potato chip Reese's.
But you know what? I have an issue with it. I love Reese's Pieces. I've always loved Reese's Pieces.
Reese's peanut butter cups.
You want a little movie
problem. Here's the problem. I want Reese's Pieces. I don't necessarily always want Reese's Pieces with the peanut in it. And now I can only find Reese's Pieces with the peanut in it. There's the old school Reese's Pieces at any of my corner stores.
They had Reese's Pieces.
You got to order
Reese's
from
Pieces
the
with a peanut
Halloween
inside of it.
supply store.
I've never had that.
Again, I like this piece of trivia he's about to give you guys.
Yes, I want to hear.
Do you know the trivia already?
No. I wanted you to ask, and then I wanted to see
trivia. You know, it's the ET trivia.
Yeah.
Oh, is it about walkie-talkie?
Steven, it's about how a Jew saved Reese's.
Steven Spielberg wanted M&Ms. All right, he wanted M&Ms because that's his favorite candy, and they were like, "No, we don't. We're good. We don't want it in your weird fucking alien movie." And Reese's Pieces was like, "Yeah, hook us up. Let's do it. I bet aliens would love a nice peanut buttery treat." and that really saved the whole brand.
It was that iconic scene where they're putting it down and he's following the candy and eating it. Reese's Pieces, actually, Reese's was going bankrupt that year. They were like, they had been in the red for like a decade and it was over. And then sales went up like 8,000% after the movie and it never went down after that. Like,
now it's cool.
In the movie.
It has to be in the fucking movie theater now. Like every time you go to the movie, that's where you get it, Harley. If you actually wanted it, every time you go to the movie theater, that's just quintessential.
No, but it's Reese's Pieces with the peanut in it in Canada.
I don't understand what you mean. Like like actual hard,
like a full
nuts?
peanut.
Like imagine
imagine
a peanut M&M, but it's a Reese's Pieces, but it's a peanut.
I've never
M&M.
had that.
Okay,
So
that's
just saying
all
that
we get
Harley
here.
go to the movie.
How does
theater
it
to buy
differ
his
from a peanut
candy?
M&M?
Is he still rolling in YouTube money?
It has it has the peanut butter still. It is a full Reese's Pieces, but it's like a big one. It's a ball like with a peanut inside of it.
Okay, so they take a peanut and then they cover it with peanut butter and then they wrap that in chocolate and then they put that candy coating on the top so it doesn't melt. And you don't want that.
I'm not saying I don't want that. I love it.
You've had enough,
also that's
You've had your fill.
That's everywhere. That's all you can get. And you're looking at a Canadian one.
I thought it said peanut arachnid. I was
not only that.
Yeah, I see it too.
Another way to
What
say
does it
peanut
say?
in French is cacahuète.
So
you should be happy that they didn't put cacahuète.
Oh, is that French for peanut?
Yeah, arachide.
Arachide. Or so is cacahuète.
Is it really?
Yeah, so is cacahuète. You're not taking that in. Cacahuète. And tired is fatigué. So
Fatigué,
tired is fat
cacahuète.
and gay, and peanut is cacahuète. Trust me, this is the shit we laughed at when we were trying to learn the language.
I mean, French is hilarious. I don't think we have any French listeners, so we can really go in on them.
You ever see a Frenchman just beaten terribly just for being one? Are there hate groups? What I'm saying there, that are there guys at the bar, maybe rough guys to begin with, but if they heard like someone with that silly accent, would they like maybe target him? Like
the rough guys at the bar are French.
Do you have those cigarettes? That image for the cigarettes, Zach? Can you pull that up?
Are these the Canadian like death sticks?
Yeah. So I guess they finally got the law changed a bit, and now every smoke in Canada is going to say poison in every puff on the filter. I think that's the filter. It's hard to tell because it's all white.
It looks like the filter. Yeah, it's pretty hardcore.
But I think they're going to have different warnings. I would assume different warnings on the filter itself of each individual cigarette. Like I remember the first time I saw Canadian cigarettes, like back when we did one of those paintball trips.
Yeah.
And what's his name had some. I'll be honest, I thought it was cool. I was like, damn, wish you brought me a pack. Like because you're not scaring me with that. You're not scaring me with that because I don't know. The news media has lied to me for decades about what's healthy and what's not healthy. Oh my God, fucking cell phones were going to give me brain cancer and the ozone layer was going to melt us all and the ice caps. And look, I just don't think cigarettes are that bad for you. Look, they're bad for you. You smoke them your whole fucking life. Nobody ever smoked cigarettes for 10 years and got sick. I don't believe it.
If you wanted to stop people from smoking, Kyle, would it be more effective to make them more phallic? Like to make them head on there?
No, we wouldn't care. We're getting there's oral fixation going on anyway. And look, especially in Canada, they're woke as fuck. They'd love to suck that little dick.
I think I might be more interested in smokers if that was it. There's a subreddit towards it. Just
like,
women sucking on
my girlfriend has a penis like this too, eh?
I feel progressive. Yeah, that's what they do. I mean, I think it's enough is enough.
Smokes.
How much do smokers need to be bullied? They know it's bad for them. Don't need to put nasty photos on there that the rest of us have to look at the gas station.
I am a huge fan of getting smokers away from me. I don't like it when my clothes smell like smoke. I don't like breathing your smoke. It's not a personal decision. It's you're making a decision on my behalf when you stink up the restaurant.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't want to be part of your stink. I agree.
But on the other hand, if you want to, you can do meth. I don't really care.
That probably smells terrible. Yeah. You ever smell meth?
Is it like cat urine? No, I've never smelled meth.
Like ammonia?
Oh, I don't know what it smells like.
Yeah.
I read online.
Smells it every weekend.
So the smell was a big plot point in Breaking Bad, and online they said it smells like cat urine.
I've heard like vinegary. I've heard cat piss, and I've heard just plasticky, melting, chemically smells. Who knows? That's just not for me, man. I would do heroin before meth. I think.
Really?
Yeah, for sure. Especially you just like snort a little bit of it.
I feel like you get a lot done if you were a responsible meth head.
What's the one you do on a spoon? You burn on a spoon.
Heroin.
See, that process leaves a really, I don't know. The dirty spoon feels low class to me. Along with, does that involve tinfoil too?
There are different ways to imbibe. but you could freebase. That's when we got the torch, the aluminum foil, got a little tube in her mouth.
Mm-hmm. You just smoke opium. Yeah.
You get one of them old timey opium pipes, like a fucking cowboy, which is God. I would love to get high on that.
You go
shit.
to China and just laze around in one of those dens.
I would do nothing but that until I died in China.
In China in an opium
I bet that's
den.
the best drug. I bet it tastes good too, and you get some like really cheap Asian prostitutes. Anyway, and then you also see people inject the heroin, right? Like straight into their vein. That's when the spoon and the lighter stuff comes into play.
That
you can
injection
also
is for someone who's
snort
so
some.
Yeah.
But
I think injection is like the end of the line where like that's the most intense way you can do it, right?
Of course.
Injecting. So like
makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, what is more intense than that? Injecting drugs directly into your bloodstream.
Top way. That's how
I injected into my
anesthesiologist
brain.
Yeah.
Do you guys know what lion's mane is?
It's a mushroom.
Yeah, it's a mushroom.
What is the effect it's supposed to have?
I don't know. It's supposed to be good for you in some kind of way. Like,
Did you get a shit ton of lion's mane products?
Yeah. Did you also?
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't
hold off on those for now.
Yeah.
Not hold off on eating them. Just hold off on talking about them for now.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's do that.
Yeah.
So some other show?
Yeah, because it's sponsored that we need to probably coordinate on.
Yeah.
I just don't know what it does or how. I had.
Oh, it's
had a fraction of
amazing
one so
things if
far.
it's one of our sponsors, Woody. God.
True fact.
Be careful on those. You might get like super strong and sexy or something.
Might get too healthy. Again. Even stronger.
Yeah.
With my mushrooms? Yeah. I mean, I have heard the lion's mane mushroom thing many times, but I don't actually know anything about it yet. Like other than what I see from like Derek type videos where he mentions shit like that and is like, oh, the data for lion's mane is some people claim this, but the reality is it improves this, but not to the extent that you would like kind of like every Derek video where he's like, there is truth here, but not what you think. And it's like, oh yeah, this does seem more real now. Like it's actually not someone injecting, fucking caffeine into their bicep every day.
When Derek sees someone that looks saucy as fuck, I wish he dove in head first a little more recklessly. He'll be like,
calling him out.
The Rock, maybe. Yeah, I don't know for sure. And it's like, really? Fuck it, I know. The Rock. I can't
Gabby
think of
Garcia.
Wolverine's name right now. A Wolverine.
Oh, Hugh Jackman.
Yeah. Hugh Jackman. He's like on the fence, if I recall, on Hugh Jackman being on steroids. And it's like, really? And he's like, really? He was just lean. He wasn't that big.
Maybe you could become like a migrant worker and work for cash only just to spite her.
You know what you do? Yeah. You just pay it forward. You illegally immigrate to Canada. Just moving on.
How aggressive are they about throwing us out?
I don't think they can, dude. They don't have
physically
guns.
Or
the whole country no guns.
Their cops don't even have guns. They use stern words.
That would be fucking awesome. Like imagine if
and they even
talk them out of it.
Imagine if Justin Trudeau like continues his anti-gun policy to the point where he literally disarms all of Canada, like zero fucking guns. They never have a school shooting again. But then the next year we just straight up invade them.
We're bringing back to democracy and school shootings.
It's just the Mounties and the Canadian military standing between us and Quebec.
Yeah, guess what? Canada's huge. Another 50 states, even 100. How about that?
Yeah.
You're being fooled by that Mercator projection. It's not that big.
I want to sell Puerto Rico.
Everyone knows that. You want to sell Puerto Rico?
Yeah.
How much? What do we get for it?
Greenland.
Just take it.
Oh, Greenland, obviously that's a trade. That's a way bigger island, and I've never been to either one, but
I don't even know how big Greenland is. That fucking Mercator projection messes me up so bad.
I think it's the size of South fucking America.
Dude, I've overcorrected myself with the Mercator projection thing. So like on that little map, sometimes I'll be like, yeah, Russia, and then like drag it down and be like, oh no, it's enormous. Like
Russia,
Canada.
the biggest country?
Yeah, Russia's the biggest, then Canada, then us.
Do you know who the most populous is?
India now,
it's
right?
It's not China?
I think India, either they just passed him or they're passing him this year. It's something like that.
Congrats.
We're talking about this the other day, like how big Australia is, and someone's like, "Oh yeah, no, it's tiny." And I'm like, "No, it's like as big as America." And they like, "Oh, no, Texas is bigger than Australia." And there's a cattle ranch in Australia that's like it's a comparable size to Texas, and it's like run by 12 dudes.
It's Australia.
Like, it's like
huge.
Fucking gigantic, but when you look at it on the map, it just looks fucking tiny.
There's just not much kind of like usable space. Yeah.
Oh no! I mean, you could use it to store nuclear waste, like the
I was going to call Australia the motivation for Fallout.
I'm really fascinated by abandoned towns, cities, and like places like that where you go somewhere and say, "Oh my god!" Like there's paved streets and road signs and stuff, but this place is deserted 100%. One of them is this asbestos mine out in the Australian outback, where obviously there came a time when we realized asbestos wasn't so great for you, so we stopped mining for it. But the whole town's there that was built around the industry of the asbestos mine, the same way that at the turn of the last 2 centuries ago, with the gold rush, you would have those encampments that would sprout up, and then later on they'd become the cities that we know out west, but originally it was just a bunch of miners and whores stopped there for a week because it was convenient.
Yeah,
it's neat.
Is that like the Blue Sky mine? I think it is.
I don't remember the name of it, but if it's an asbestos mine that's abandoned, I don't know what this is.
Yeah.
But there you go. That's what I found interesting. All the homes.
Did you go there, Kyle?
In Australia?
Oh, I'm sorry, I got a little mixed up.
You know what?
Zach wrote Pennsylvania in the chat, and I conflated the story.
Yeah, it's in the Pilbara region, which is like in the middle of fucking nowhere. But like that's in Western Australia. Like Western Australia is so fucking massive. Like it's there'd be heaps of towns like that up there. They just mine. They go there, they just mine everything out, and then they're just like, no, the next one.
There's some cool American towns that like just totally failed. Like they used to be mines and now they're just empty, or towns that are so small or decrepit. I think they're neat. I think it's cool to visit. When I go to a town and it's too small to support a gas station, I'm like, what? How do people live here? There's no grocery store. There's no gas station. Like, how do you survive without the basics?
There's places where it's like there's just a quick stop and a Dollar General, 28 miles down the road, the closest one. Like that, there's tons of like driving through like the South, like even southern Missouri. Like you go through a bunch of towns like that where it's like you blink and you're through it, and it's like sometimes it's sad. It's often sad because it's like you can tell there used to be like community there. Like people grew up there and like have fond memories of it, and now it's like dilapidated and sad and
well, they couldn't get any jobs, so they obviously have to leave. But
it's because of the interstate system.
Yeah, there's one near us that has like there's like a whole bunch of houses, and then it just has like it's like a gas station sort of like stop, has like food and stuff like that, but they have more ammunition on the shelves than they have food there, because like heaps of people drive through there to their properties that are past there to go hunting, so they sell more ammunition than they do food. So it's like it's pretty funny to walk in there and just like, oh yeah, just like 3 loaves of bread and then like 300 boxes of 223. It's like very funny.
It's funny, like you forget as an American that in other countries they're like, and you can go into this store that sells bread and they've got guns right there, and you're like, yeah, what else? Like, yeah, I know it's called the gun section, dude. Like, like that's where you go. It says guns.
Yeah.
Like,
I remember going to the gas station as a kid.
It's the funniest bit that there's just like there's less food than there is ammo there. Like, and that's meant to be like their supermarket.
They don't want to sell food. Those guys are going hunting. They want to eat.
Yeah, exactly. They'll get their own food. Like,
I remember going to the gas station as a kid and getting like Little Debbie snacks and a Coke and 22 bullets. Because we're driving down the road to where we've got some cattle property leased, and there's going to be something to shoot.
That's what I remember stopping at those gas stations, and I'd get some kind of soda, or usually sometimes a Yoo-Hoo if they had Yoo-Hoo. I'd get one of those dip things that had beef jerky in it, and we'd get orange sporting clays and shells, and then we'd go shoot clays. That's a fun memory.
You can still do that in some parts in like where I live. There's like that specific shop. Like we drive past that to go to my mate's sort of like lake house thing where we do like a lot of shooting, and we'll just stop in there and just buy like fucking crates and crates of fucking 12 gauge and play targets, and it's just all just sitting in there in the service station. Like people think it's like that's the thing. I don't think many people would go there, so they're like, oh, that doesn't happen in Australia. I'm like, it does. It's definitely
driving out west through Texas and New Mexico. There would just be on the side of these lonely highways a sort of makeshift shooting range, like, and it was clear that there was enough use of this of people driving by like us that were like, "Fuck it, let's get out and shoot." That it just got used all the time. Like, I saw a map the other day, and it was the percentage of gun ownership per state. Like even in New York, like it bottoms out at 10%. I mean, there's no states below 10%. And when you get down here, and especially Georgia's not one of the most intense, but the most intense places, it's like 70% or above.
Damn, where are those
households own a gun? Like most of the country.
Oh yeah, I would imagine. Yeah.
Like the majority of states in like the middle of the country, especially when you went out west where it's farms and police are so spread out. I think the Dakotas maybe and Montana, they were like dark red where everybody's got a gun.
Now that I'm thinking, like, it is kind of weird if someone just doesn't have a shotgun.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have 25% owners in Australia.
That's much higher than I would have thought.
That is good for you guys. You need to get those numbers up.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. A lot of people like, and also like the amount, like people that own guns usually own like a lot. So it's like, but it's kind of weird because I always get that, like people are like, oh, you don't have any, and then I like actually look at the stats and I'm like, actually no, we kind of do. We got we've got more than the UK. Like
you've only not got a lot compared to America, and nobody has a lot compared to us. Like
exactly, like you can't beat that.
People here love guns.
Love them.
And
because
Minnesota's dragging our average down.
Yeah, California's ruining the whole West as well. Like
Illinois and Minnesota, you bastards, and Michigan. No, and Michigan. Well, what's the Missouri stat? The best state in the Midwest.
There is a town here in North Atlanta called Kennesaw,
I know it makes sense
and gun ownership there is mandatory.
Really?
Yeah.
Do they have to like learn how to use it, or is it just like, here you go, you're 18?
You just have to have guns in the house, and they can't be locked up. And if you don't abide, they will shoot you. And there's nothing you can do about it because
your gun's locked up.
Yeah.
Have a gun.
Oh, they only shoot the non-gun owners. Yeah, but it is mandatory. I always wondered about, like, what are they going to like come around and check, see if I got one? Show me your gun. I don't have one. Well, come out with your hands up.
Iceland and St. Louis have about the population. Imagine trying to make a team from just the people from St. Louis.
I mean, unless it's professional hammering.
Or like rib making. It's like they're really good at that.
We have a great professional barbecue team. I mean, if it was a statewide team, we could make a damn good barbecue team. We get St. Louis and Kansas City in there. But that's about it. Other than that, it's just we'd win the crime off.
You could win the crime off nationally.
I don't know. Baltimore might have a word like Philly. What about
Baltimore, DC, Detroit? They all pale in comparison. And whenever I look,
Baltimore had more murder per capita or more murders than days in the year for like 13 years straight.
I would love if
let's get a per capita.
Took this horrible trophy from St. Louis. So
what about Gary, Indiana? Isn't that like actually the worst place in the world or in the U.S.? All right, number one murder per capita is St. Louis, Missouri. And number two is Baltimore, right behind it.
Look at us, St. Louis at 69.4 murders per 100,000. Baltimore 51.1, right behind. New Orleans.
Oh my God.
I'm just New Orleans.
Oh, different.
Third place, a paltry 40.6.
Detroit
murders.
Gets all this credit for how tough they are, and they have half your murder rate.
What a bunch of losers!
Like a third.
I'm running low on population.
DC 19th place. I didn't expect them to do so poorly.
Kansas City 7. I always thought of that as like the safe city here.
It is by comparison. The 7th most dangerous city is twice as safe as St. Louis.
There's got to be a plot.
Nobody
Like,
goes there.
I would love to see a data is beautiful of like seeing if there's a correlation or causation between like how boring and cold a city gets in the winter and how many people die or get murdered there. Because like Baltimore, pretty fucking boring and cold in the winter. St. Louis got to be up there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like
I mean, that'd be interesting because then you would expect a city like Edmonton in Canada to be flush with murders, and I bet they're pretty safe.
Canadian murder rate by city.
I would think the heat would be the problem.
Wait, okay, listen. I'm going to tell you the highest, the one that popped up as a major one was Edmonton at 2.2 per 100,000. Thunder Bay though, Thunder Bay is crazy at the highest of 5.5.
Listeners, by comparison, 2.2, St. Louis, 69.
How many people are in Edmonton though?
It's per capita.
Yeah, it's per capita.
Oh, it is per capita. You're right. I'm an idiot.
I don't think there's a lot of people in Edmonton, but that's like Edmonton is. I'm pretty sure that's their coldest, northernmost like major city, right?
Edmonton?
Everything above that is like bullshit, like just freezing wasteland.
Inuit.
You have questions about Canadian geography, you come to the right place.
Yes. Well, like fuck, it's Canada. Like 30% of them live in Toronto or something, maybe 20%, something like that.
It is 25. Maybe.
Is it? I'll trust that. I'll trust your estimate based on my guesses.
No, I thought it's like 80% of the population lives within like 20 miles of the border. Some shitty stat like that.
Yeah.
They really should just be a state. Like
I
one
would
of our
disagree.
states.
If they were a state, then we could connect to Alaska, which would be cool.
Yeah. And we could divide Canada into 50 more states, so we have 100 stars on our flag.
Oh, can you imagine 2 senators coming from some patch of ice getting equal votes?
What do you
California?
mean? That's what we do with Wisconsin. I mean, or I'm sorry, Minnesota. What other?
No, but these would be states.
Like Wyoming.
These would be states
sure,
with like.
Right.
These would be states with like literally 11 people, and like 25% of their population are senators.
Yes.
That'd be great.
Yeah, I mean,
or yeah, we could break New York and Cali into 5 each, and then we only have to make
But they wouldn't all be Democrats.
Only 90.
It would be more representative. I don't know.
I'm more interested in getting an even 100 stars.
I would rather keep it 50. We combine the Dakotas, right?
Uh-huh.
Get Puerto Rico in here, and then
combine the Virginias. They also have a weird naming scheme.
No. They do have a weird naming scheme, but they don't. Combining them makes no sense. You can't combine North and South Carolina. They're also the same. I mean, very different, like culturally.
I do base it on the names.
I say we just merge Idaho and Montana because that's like 800,000 people.
No, these states would be too weird looking. I don't like the way North and
North
South
and
Dakota,
South is good. That's a square.
That one, okay, that's the one I'm okay with. Idaho and Montana, that'd be some weird ghastly monstrosity.
Yeah, but look at what Maryland looks like. It's the same. Just
I bitched about that this other episode.
Gerrymandered, like
Maryland is
maps.
it has to be, in my opinion, humbly the ugliest state outline. That shit doesn't make any sense.
Isn't it because of
West
rivers?
Virginia?
Because of rivers, right?
Yeah. But like the glorious Alpha Chad geometric Utah, which is just like fucking draw lines in the sand, call it a day. Like that. Satisfying.
I mean, that's Colorado.
Why'd you pick
like
on
that.
Utah and not like a Dakota or Wyoming?
I because I think in my head Utah is more square. Colorado would have been the correct choice here.
Yeah,
I might be wrong.
because Utah has that little jut.
Utah, yeah,
but it still looks pretty good.
Proudly taking.
Oh, you're right. Utah's
territory.
more square than I thought it was. Well, I should have known that.
The way we did states was like when you start on a project and you're really into the intricacy of it, and towards the end you're just like, this is fine. This is okay.
Colorado and Nebraska is pretty solid.
I mean, look at that. Colorado and Wyoming, two alpha squares.
Yeah.
That's good. New Mexico gets fucked a little bit because they have that little hang off. Let's give that hang off back to Mexico. Make them a nice square.
Yeah. I mean, Texas, we got to lock Texas off. We got to get rid of that.
What if we get like an autistic president and he's like, they all have to be squares? It's the only thing he works towards for 4 years. Like, we need health care. He's like, well, we'll get to that right after the great squarification.
America is a grid system, and that's how we're just going to be. You live on the 89th parallel.
Oval Office? Not in this administration.
It's like when Norwegians take over. We've got Scandinavian design leading all of everything.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's good.
Did you make a coffee, Kyle?
Yeah, I did. I just walked through the house and they're just passed out. Like every step I took, it was another body. Dirty's on the floor, like 8 steps outside the door.
That is just a clean crack house you have going on there.
Yeah, and it's
Bunch of
6:03 p.m.
laying out.
Yeah, it is 6 p.m. So, it's about time for half of us to be unconscious, I suppose. So yeah, Fish and Dirty are in there, like just passed out. Dirty's on the floor.
Now you're going to do a silly amount of edibles and then take a plane early tomorrow?
Yes.
Speaking of which, let's have a few more bites of those edibles.
Oh yeah.
Of those tasty lawn clippings.
Man.
For yourself. How many are you in now? You've had one?
I've had 2. There are 4 remaining.
Okay, let's slow it down a bit.
That was a solid bite, though.
I mean, I think
this
is
was
great.
mostly frosting.
I'm front.
That's
I'm
the good
front.
part.
Yeah.
Was that Duggar?
No, I was gonna just say I'm like front and center to watching like a live performance of like all of the YouTube videos I used to watch when I was in college, called like by like Custom Grow 420, who'd like literally his content was, I'm gonna smoke a gram of dab in one breath or like whatever, and then it'd be a 20-minute video, 1 minute of doing that, and the next 19 like struggling to survive. You're just like, yeah,
they were all the same. I remember watching some of those too, where it'd be like, I'm gonna take a 1.5 gram dab, and then it would just be them doing it, coughing a lot, and going like, oh, it was too much. It was
I want to thank my followers.
Remember
Really,
to
though, right?
subscribe.
Didn't seem like they had an excess, and they didn't, like, if they were to take whatever it is, 1/10 of that amount, they get the full effect of it.
Yes,
But it was
there is
like
diminishing returns.
spilling
of
out
weed.
over the sides. They're doing it carelessly. They're burning a gram, but they're only consuming like 75% of it. Am I wrong? Did you see
No,
it like
you're
that
correct.
too?
It's literally, it's a very inefficient way to do that. It'd be like saying, like, if you wanted to get super high, don't smoke a joint, like pack it into a vaporizer and get every last drip of THC out of there.
I don't know what I'm talking about, but it looked like they were intentionally not getting it all. Like, I'm going to drink an entire beer and then I'm spilling it fucking everywhere.
But it's different because the beer doesn't go, you can drink an entire beer over the course of 10 minutes, but you can't smoke a bong after, like, the smoke goes stale and then you're just dying and it's not good and it doesn't work.
I just felt like it wasn't a bong, it was a dab rig. And
Yeah,
if
but-
people don't know anything about this, is a little oil. It's like earwax almost. You put a hot, they call it a nail.
You use a
and then-
blowtorch.
Oh wait, don't you put a nail in it and then it makes it?
You light up the
the blowtorch
the
on
bowl and then you use the nail to dip the wax or the concentrate and then you go around the very hot nail and then it vaporizes.
Okay,
it.
and then this vaporize comes out and you breathe it and it's very, very potent.
Yes.
Anyway, when I watched the guys do it, it seemed like they let a ton go to waste intentionally, like someone who was trying not to drink their drink would.
Regardless, they all ended up miserable
Ruined.
and none of them enjoyed that time. Like when they're drooling and snot's coming from their nose and they're just like red in the face. I'm like, nice, bro.
Is like, how many people are actually that against guns that they're like getting into gun related hobbies and being like, you're culpable? Like,
oh, it's happening. That happens here in Canada. I had like an airsoft gun. No disrespect, by the way, Wolf.
It's all good.
And they like there was like a law. My buddy came by and he was like, "Yo, there's like a chance that like you have to like give back your gun or like give it to the government because it's too much of a gun."
A paintball gun buyback.
Like a law was changing that like
It's
it was
changing
like,
right now. We're fighting it right now because I've
so that's
actually
still happening.
Yeah, I work with the gun
what
lobby
law
people.
is being fought?
It's called Bill C-21, and they're trying to get rid of any replicas like paintball markers that look like the real thing. and they're trying to push that in with the regular bill to get rid of AR-15s and certain handguns and stuff like that. So they're trying to include airsoft and paintball with that bill. So
is it time to immigrate?
No, bro. And listen, I'm a former New Yorker and I love the States, but no matter how disturbingly stupid stuff like that happens here, I'm still chilling in Canada. Like, you know, I don't have to worry about certain things and crimes and
no, I feel you there.
Healthcare.
What things? When you said things,
you know what things?
I know.
Well, you know, certain guys who see me differently and me walking down the street with a white girlfriend and them saying something to her and stuff. Like, you don't have to worry about stuff like that here.
But you have a gun here, so you take care of that shit.
That's true.
They're right, brother. Taking them all out. But yeah, I
fix racism one bullet at a time.
Oh, Jesus. But I love the States and I love Canada, but Canada was like, I'll tell you this story. We were back in the day. This was like early 90s when I was with my back then fiance, and we were discussing where we wanted to stay because I had some great job offers. I went to Syracuse U and had some great job offers to stay in the States and stuff like that. And so we're walking upstate New York, what have you, and everything. And we're driving, oh, well, America has this and Canada has this. And some guy driving by. And my girl, who is white, I just hear someone yell out the car, F-U-N lover. And we just stop in our steps. And we stop in our steps. And then she goes, I think we should stay in Canada. And we went back up north. And that's pretty much what
is it in Canada? Like, oh, you're probably a fucking Leafs fan, you hoser.
No, let's be honest. In Canada, they go home, create a burner account on Instagram, and write it after creeping him on Instagram and finding it. There's scumbags everywhere. But at least I don't think they're so empowered in Canada these days. But that changes. I find things are different. But I agree with a lot. Like, I love the USA. I love so many things that are wrong with the USA are the things that I love. Like, I love going to a restaurant and I'm like, oh, Diet Coke, please. And they bring me like a glass that's somehow 2 liters. Like, we don't even have a glass that big in Canada. And I like that. I love that shit. And I see fat fucking people on like motor scooters rolling around Walmart. And I'm like, that's your fault. You did that to you. And I'm here, and I'm enjoying watching you like zoom around up and down the aisle, grabbing the most colorful packages. And I love that. I love this country. I love that exists. Like, I love that it's like a semi on the way to cyberpunk. Like, I do love everything about the U.S. I
monument
really
to hedonism.
And now, like, honestly, like 80% of my friends are Americans. Like, they're just people that I've met over the years. You know, you don't stay that in touch with people that you were friends with in elementary and high school, but like when I lived in LA or whatever, or, you know, like you guys, like when I get married in 15 years, I can't wait to have the fucking PKA boys as, you know, my wedding party. I know none of you are going to come.
Dude, I'm there.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
I want to meet this woman who's currently 3.
You know.
I'm like, yo, where's Woody? And Woody's going to be like, my leg. But you guys, I actually like, I do love Canada though. Like, I've been in Toronto, and Toronto's so sick. I really do love it. I'm in Halifax right now, and I've been like, I can't believe I never came to this part of Canada. I'm not going to bore you with it because it's just like fucking, it's just a Canadian city, but like, it's just awesome. It's been great. And I still love the USA, but I don't know if I'd be so eager to go there. There's so many things that I like. There's like major worries that exist in the U.S. that I don't have here.
Like what?
I've been to Israel because I don't know if the audience knows I'm Jewish, and you guys know the Holocaust.
It's been minutes since we told them. Yeah.
Okay, but like I've been to Israel, and like I was like nervous going to Israel, and then you just see like police officers with Uzis and stuff, and I'm like, oh, okay, I guess they're.
They got it all locked down.
They're alert. Yeah, they're alert. So that's fine. But like then like I go to Florida and I eat in an Olive Garden, and literally like I don't know if you saw this video, but like 7 days later a video pulls up where a kid like was in the mall like apparently hitting on underage girls, and then the cops chase him and he pulls out a gun and starts shooting at them, and there's a full shootout. The Olive Garden that I ate at like 5 days before is in the background of that video. And sometimes when I do go to Florida, like when I go to Florida, bro, like you should see me drive in Canada, and then you should see me drive in Florida.
Yeah.
Like there's no touching the horn ever. I'll never touch the horn. Someone pulls out next to my car, like I'm looking down and away. Everyone has a gun.
He's right. Yeah.
Everyone is a potential threat. I'm not fucking with anyone. Like if someone has a bad day in Canada, like that's front page. They're like, he had a bad day. He slapped another man. He slapped him at Tim Hortons in the face. In the U.S., like, bro, if this guy pulled out like an automatic rifle and lit me up for cutting him off, it's not even newsworthy. They're like, yeah, bro, you're one of 2,000 today. We don't care.
Yeah.
And it's little things like that. It's just me being scared.
No, like you're not. It's not just Canadians who think.
So what you're saying is people in the U.S. a lot more polite.
They're very polite because all those Floridians are armed to the teeth. It could be 20,000.
Florida's the only place that can make a Canadian extra polite.
It's honestly, Kyle, like I look at you and I'm like, I'm glad he's on my side.
I'd agree. Well, and you know what? He's 100% right, because it's when I'm in the States, even if it's an hour away from the border, I'm head's constantly on a swivel, always paying attention. I'm always going into a restaurant, facing the exit, facing the door, back, you know what, back against the wall. And that when you come up north, it's just chill.
Yeah,
like,
but you guys are wrong. You've never seen any violence. You're like, my head's on a swivel. I'm ready and prepared. I like to eat at Olive Garden and condition yellow. Did you see anyone? Did they try to steal your breadsticks? No.
Be careful. Bro, listen, I don't know if I told you this story, but I was at a paintball game once, and I was parked outside of my hotel, and sitting in my car, putting in the GPS where the field was, and four cop cars pulled up to me, guns drawn, lights pointed, boom, boom, getting ready, running me. What are you doing here? Going crazy like this. And I was just looking at my computer in the car, not doing anything. And you go, well, whose car is this? I was driving a range at the time, and go, whose car is this? And what are you doing here? Yeah. And I was like, dude, you know, I had to put my hands up, and then I'm getting my license really slow and all this stuff. And I mean, we have problems in Canada, but it's nothing like that. Like,
now that's a fair problem, but as white people, not very dangerous here. I am never afraid the way you Harley described when I was thinking like driving in traffic. Like I see people
because but you're the guy.
Here's the thing about that. You know, you're not wrong.
You're the guy.
I don't have any guns. They took them away. But here's the thing. The people who do have the guns would know me. I feel like if some dude starts shooting up a Taco Bell, I could be like, I'm at Fierce Russia. I'm doing the voice. If I yell that loud enough, there is like a 35% chance he goes, for real?
You ain't sound Russian. And then you'd be killed for doing too good of an accent 10 years ago.
No,
have you seen the Top Gear? Like you guys are talking about like the funniness of like, you know, and the scariness of sometimes in America. I live in St. Louis, which is a third world country or third world city as far as violence goes. And when I go to Florida where my dad lives, I feel the opposite, where like I'm like, wow, everything's kind of nice. Like it feels safer here. Like it feels way safer in Tampa than driving around St. Louis. And so I can't imagine how safe I would feel if I lived in Edmonton.
Tampa's like university town, you know? Like I feel like there's a lot of students.
It's a growing town. It's big. Tampa's got
that's kind of where I've spent all my time in Florida, either, you know, Tampa or Jacksonville or
Miami
or Orlando. Never Miami. I never went all the way down because the stuff we were doing was all based right there in Tampa, Orlando, or the other one that's.
It's also hot as shit in Miami, and like when I go to Florida, I'm looking for good weather. The weather's just fine in Tampa. You don't gotta go all the way fucking down.
Yeah, I was there for like gun guys to like use their shit or like go to their places or something like that. So I just never made it down there.
I need to go to St. Louis. I need to try that barbecue. That's the third,
yeah. We have tremendous barbecue.
Tried.